on this island.
There's a 4
Shut
elite.
the system down so the Covenant won't be able to lock us out.
That's
we
awesome.
Now
Beating the campaign solo on Legendary with 4 times the enemies can't be that bad, right? Well, to be honest, it's harder than Lasso, and in this video I'll prove it.
This place will become your tomb.
Before we dive deeper in this video, there's a few things you need to know about the mod. First thing is that enemies can shoot you from way farther away than normal, so it even makes it even harder on Legendary to deal with the 4 times enemies. Additionally, another thing that they do to kind of piggyback and kind of give you some cushion on this mod is to give you additional ammo capacity, so you can hold a lot more rounds in your assault rifle, sniper rifle, plasma rifle, etc. to deal with all the enemies. The mod creator Shoutout, link in the description, also clarified it applies to 4 times the allies as well. After getting the pistol from Captain Keys that has absolutely 0 ammo, you get to your first section with 4 times the enemies. Grunts. Really simple to deal with, but the problem is the next room in the cafeteria. The amount of enemies is absolutely absurd, and you also only have really just a few weapons to deal with hardly any grenades. Tons of elites, and you really don't have the weaponry to deal with it. If you go too far back, you'll find yourself being overrun by the amount of Covenant you have to deal with. If you push too far forward, there's also too much Covenant to deal with. At the end of the day, I died a lot in this section, but going forward, I'm going to show you just the main struggle areas that I dealt with, and then what I was able to do to get around some of these challenges. The method that worked for this room is the slow, methodical approach. I had to kill enemies very slowly and take my time to shoot them from a distance and finally get their shields down enough. And what worked is the scripting of this room is actually kind of backwards. Once you eliminate enough enemies, the enemies just backtrack and retreat into the next room, which gives you plenty of time and plenty of ammo to figure out what you need to do to clear the next room. The rest of the Pillar of Autumn wasn't too bad, to be honest. Like, I had allies and I was able to throw grenades. I had much more grenades that I could use to clear out a lot of the tight corridors and continue pressing forward. The next section, I was able to apply similar logic and just throw a grenade and have the plasma grenade do all the work for me. After making it through a few more hallways, I finally made it to this 2-story room. I thought as a kid that there'd definitely be a lot more levels to this. Like, by levels, I mean like floors. I finally made it to this room that was actually a challenge for me as a kid on Legendary, because there's so many enemies above you and it's really hard to deal with. Thankfully in this mod you have a lot more marine allies. This was a slow, methodical, taking out enemies as I could and taking my time with it because I didn't want to rush it too much or go in there and get shot and mowed down in about 5 seconds. However, the amount of marines I had really helped in this section and I was able to move forward. After a few more well-placed grenades and great spots to where there'd be chain reactions and just explosions everywhere to eliminate the enemies, this is when I finally was able to board the dropship out of there and to land on the Halo ring. Now this is when I really started to consider something that I hadn't considered in my Halo 3 Legendary 4 times enemy solo run, is that can I use speedrun tricks? And at this point, I really thought that, I was doing well, but at the end of the day, if I was not going to do any sort of speedrun tricks, this mod would take me literally ages to complete. But it's not only that, I also considered that if I do speedrun tricks, they're going to be super minor ones that just kind of eliminate some of the enemies potentially in some areas to make it easier, but I'm not going to do those major skips like assault in the control room to despawn the entire level. I wasn't going to do any of those major tricks. I didn't even do the door skip in Silent Cartographer. I just did very minor speedrun tricks to get through some sections. Once I got the Warthog, I was able to drive past the enemies to go activate the switch. I just simply jumped on top of the Warthog to jump up to where the switch was, activate it so the bridge would be activated. Once I was done with that, I was able to continue to press on with the mission. I will say there's a few areas that there were 4 times enemies, but for the most part this mission was very simple. And the reason for that is because the dropships only are allowed to spawn in the original enemies. They can't do 4 times enemies. So for this mod, it was pretty simple. I was able just to drive through each area, take my time eliminating the enemies, and press on forward.
Get
Alright.
aboard and let's get out of here.
Welcome aboard, Master Chief. Ready for dust off. We should move out, Lieutenant, and then we'll need your help on a rescue mission.
Truth and Reconciliation actually ended up being the second hardest mission in this entire run. You may be asking yourself why. Well, because of the library, and I'll get into that later. But this mission, the 4 times enemies worked flawlessly throughout the entire campaign mission. Even so much so that when I got to the ship section where they come down the lift, the 4 times enemies worked there flawlessly. That also means that 8 hunters spawned in. But before we get to that nightmare, let's talk about the first part. So the first part, I just used my sniper the entire time. Didn't really care about ammo, but I knew if I held on to it that there'd be ammo throughout the mission. So that was my objective, use it all to the max capacity, and thankfully it doesn't despawn. So if I just switch it out later and then come back to grab it before I go on to the next section, then it'll definitely still be there and I could still use it further on in the mission. So to put it lightly, this is going to be painful. So what I'm going to do is I think what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to stay back here and have them, even though they drop, come back to me at this point. At this point, I can have enough cover and they aren't coded to come back this far. We've made it all the way here. I was not expecting to make it this far, to be honest, guys. So, yeah, we got fully loaded AR and a sniper, so it should be good.
Were it so easy.
Words cannot express how difficult this section was. The main reason for the difficulty was the tons and tons of spawns. It's like waves upon waves, but this time you don't really have a cheese method to do it. And even in the lasso method where they teach you to sit in a specific area to get the spawns to stop, it doesn't work in this mod. I tried it. So long story short, this lift section, just with all the sword elites and the infinite spawns, was the most difficult section in the entire run. To caveat that, I know I said this was the second hardest mission. There was no part in the library that was as difficult and took me as long as this specific section in Truth and Reconciliation. For this part, you have to make it all the way through the 8 hunters without dying, because there's 0 checkpoints that are awarded during this part. Additionally, the enemies spawn right behind you even though they're right next to you. So that's something else to consider. Please enjoy the rest of the death montage. After completing that insane challenge, I made it through a few more corridors and finally made it to the big hangar area, which I was able to accomplish an OG speedrunning strat to skip the 2 stories and make it to the 3rd level by doing some insane grenade jumps off of an overshield. Don't ask Cody Miller how to do this because he does not know how. I don't need that right now. I need to be distracted. I don't have other distraction. Come on. Holy crap. Just when I thought I was free from all the elites shooting at me, that was not the case. There's a ton more in these next sections. But I will say the meeting room went by fine and I was able to go save Captain Keys at the end. We got this. We're almost on the truth.
There's a Covenant dropship still docked.
Alright. Oh, cool. It did do this again.
The dropship is loose.
Everybody, mount up.
Holy
Let's
crap.
get on board.
It's over.
Contains the map room.
We're approaching the LZ. It's gonna be hot. Get set to come out swinging.
Alright.
Touchdown. Hit it, Marines!
The Silent Cartographer was actually a pretty quick mission. It wasn't too bad. As soon as I exited the Pelican, I went left so I could get straight to the unlock button for the map room. So I went ahead and just went up there as soon as I could, took out a bunch of jackals like they were having a jackal party, made my way, killed all the hunters, killed a bunch of more jackals, and then finally made it to the activation switch to open the map room. And I will say this room was kind of difficult with a bunch of invisible elites, but I was able to do it first try and make it through and also make it down to the beachhead, steal a Warthog real quick, and then eventually make it to the map room. To make it down to the map room the quickest way possible, I knew this OG speedrun strat as well. We drop down and then eventually land on the overshield. Actually, this was the first time in my entire life where I actually did it first try. It was actually insane. But I was able to actually save the overshield for when I actually exited to save some time and save some resources on the way up. Get that.
Analyzing. Hey, look.
That was awesome.
Roger, on my way.
There we go.
Let's get moving. Foehammer, here are coordinates and a flight plan I've worked out.
Let's go. Assault in the control room was not a very difficult mission, it was just very time consuming. Each room had its own unique challenges with unique enemies to fight, and some of you may be asking, is there 4 times the vehicles? Well, honestly depends, but most of the time it was not 4 times the vehicles. It was usually just its original vehicles. However, sometimes there'd be like additional like ghosts and stuff that the enemies normally wouldn't get into on the normal campaign. However, in this kind of mod, they do get in those vehicles. So at the end of the day, it just depended on the area. Helps out tremendously. But yeah, we finally did it. We're halfway done with the game.
That terminal, try
That's
there.
the halfway point. Then we get the flood. Honestly, at this point, I feel like it'd be a great stopping point. 343 Guilty Spark was a fun mission for the most part. There were a few sections that really caused me some issues, but getting to the flood was not bad. Just had to kill a few grunts and jackals to get there. But once I got to the flood room itself was when I recognized my first challenges with the flood. There's a lot more popcorn that you have to kill. I called them spider bugs, whatever their infection forms. The little crawly things. There's a ton of them, and because of that, you don't get checkpoints as often, so you have to kill them a lot more and make sure that you clear out everything to get a checkpoint. Additionally, the 4 times flood forms is also just a challenge in itself. The combat forms. They're everywhere, they're all over the place, and every single time they spawn in, there's 4 times of them, so it just causes tons of issues where you just have to run around and just hope and pray that they don't smack you, or you don't get surrounded by them. When I came up the elevator, I was greeted by over 32 Marines, if I had to guess, which was insane, but also welcoming. Unfortunately though, due to the game's lack of loading zones, they would not all register at the same time. Like I'd have 8 come with me, and then another 4 would show up later, then another 4 would show up later, which wasn't conducive to getting much progress in this section. And at the end of the day, this was the hardest part of the mission. I was really relying on the sentinels to be destroyed, that way it could register the checkpoint and have some time go by. I was basically just running and gunning and praying that I would actually survive this. Sentinels are dead. Just end it. It's gotta be close. Glad 343 is. There we go. Let's go. I was like, I know it's a timing thing. To probably what's going to be the hardest mission of this run. I would argue that it's going to be even harder than 2 Betrayals because everyone in this mission is your enemy.
Oh no! SpongeBob, quick, reel it in! Can't you hear the music? That's a 4/4 string ostinato in D minor. Every sailor knows it means death. Let it in before it's too late.
Like I mentioned earlier, the library was definitely the hardest mission in this entire run. The amount of RNG that I needed to make through specific sections was absolutely absurd. I can't believe I made it. Using an OG speedrun strat, I despawned some enemies in the first floor area, but that was when I met my first hurdle. It was right as soon as I made it through the first door. I was in an endless death loop that I could not make it through. This one checkpoint next to the Truth and Reconciliation one that I mentioned earlier was one of the most difficult ones to make it through. The RNG was just not for me that time. However, I got a random shout out from this guy named Installation00. Huge shout out to Installation00. He gave me a shout out, which was absolutely insane. He came in the chat and said, wow, this run is very difficult. I'm going to give you a shout out. And I ended up getting over 20 viewers at some points in the stream, which was crazy. Got a lot of support to make it through this hard, difficult part that I honestly didn't think was even possible. It's truth. And when you come up the lift, that was awful. I made it through it, but it took me about 2 hours. Grinding. Okay, I got a few more nades. It's good. It's good. I got some shields. It's perfect. Okay, I'm gonna make my way around here. Come back around here. Come on. I got some more shields. Okay, I might be able to do this. Okay. Checkpoint, please. Okay, those double guys. Hopefully that doesn't chain reaction anymore. Chain reaction? No, please no. Please no chain reaction. Okay, I'm gonna take my... Oh, no. What are you doing? Nope. That's one guy's... Okay. I'm also out of flashlight. Okay, we made it, guys. Holy crap. Okay. Oh my god. With help from chat and also a little bit of intuition, I was able to run past some of these parts and just run and gun and actually make it past before allowing the infinite spawns to catch up to me. But it looks like this is the spot, if I remember right. Looks like this is the spot to cheat in. 12 viewers. Crazy. I think if this is one of the ones I can skip. Okay, rocket flood, boys. This is the rocket flood, I'm pretty sure. There it is. Thank you so much for the shout out, Installation. And I'm actually doing well, you know, like I'm not actually sucking that bad. Hey buddies. Okay. Okay, I think it's right here. Alright guys, I'm gonna wait here. I think if we wait here until the monitor returns, because I got here quick enough, they won't see me. We made it. One more level. The final door of the library was one of the most challenging, mainly because this is one that you can't skip, or there's no cheese to kind of hide away from the enemies. They all spawn in, and you have to make your way around them. So what I did was kind of bait them out from that door and run as far as I can away, and then have them follow me and take out as much as I can. I got super lucky and got a chain reaction grenade explosion that took out a lot of them, and that was the only way it was going to be possible. Luck. So I finally got it all squared away, and I was able to proceed and get to the index and finish the campaign mission. Yes, alright. Oh, there you go, guys. 2 Betrayals started off pretty strange because I spawned in with a sniper and a shotgun. Usually on Legendary in this area, you spawn in with at least a plasma pistol, but I wasn't given that. I don't know if the mod creator thought that there wasn't a chance of making it through it unless you had a sniper, because the sniper was really awful at taking out the sentinels. But the next section, maybe it was so difficult that he was like, yeah, you need a sniper to get through it. So, at the end of the day, I basically got through what I needed to with the weapons I was given and was able to press on. Next, I did the double switch activation, despawn glitch, to where it despawns most of the enemies in the next area. I was able to go grab the Banshee, then fly back and get all the spawns to spawn back in, get all the triggers to go. Then I was able to make it to the first phase pulse generator. There's definitely, this is all of them. It's gotta be. That works. Very difficult part here.
That did it. The pulse generator overloaded. One more to go.
Okay, it's actually good. Keep on throwing nades. Keep throwing nades. Come on, no. No, no, I just need to make it to the rock. I just need to make it to the rock. Okay, I just need to make it to that rock. Bumped it through with the Banshee. The rocket flood might kill me. They may not. I don't know. Okay, let's just continue. Let's just keep going. This rocket flood's right here, which scares the crap out of me, but... Ramp that. Alright, cool. We just made a lot of progress, guys. Checkpoint, let's go! Let's go! That was huge. 100% right. There's a lot, and I was able to thankfully just ghost past a lot of them. I think I'm going to be able to do it again here, potentially. There's a lot of flood there that aren't doing anything for my help. They're just standing there. All I need to do is make it to these Banshees back here. And thankfully, it shouldn't be that bad. Alright, we did it. Straight up, straight up. Absolutely zero chance.
When I was in the control center.
I know a strat to completely, like, skip the entire mission, essentially. Like, you get this flood guy to follow you down here. You jump over here. He's like right here. He's harmless. You jump over there, find the hole, the line in the wall there, and then shoot him here. He drops down here, and then you get bumped through the wall, and that skips the entire mission. There was absolutely zero parts and keys that actually stumped me. Sure, I got killed a few times and had to revert to last checkpoint, but overall, I was able to make it through the mission just fine. There were just a few rooms that, of course, had challenges, but overall, I don't really have much to report on this mission. It's just a lot of slaying and slaying and slaying, and working my way up just enough to stop some infinite spawns, and then once I made my way up, it was pretty much smooth sailing from there. We finally made it to the final mission of Halo Combat Evolved. If you made it this far, please consider subscribing. I mean, you're already 30 minutes into the video, so you probably like my content maybe a little bit. Please subscribe if you're interested, and also feel free to drop a like. This challenge was very difficult. I appreciate all the support that you guys give. So to start off this mission, there's not really much to report. It's very standard. You just make your way through the corridors, kill a bunch of enemies, and you finally make it through. The one difficult room for me was the cafeteria again, just because of all those elites. I was able to pre-nade a few of them and was able to make my way through, but I died at this room a ton. After annihilating the elites, I made a way to fighting some hunters, but thankfully I was able to go to the armory to pick up some rockets because I was going to do a quick sort of speedrun strat to make it through this room fairly simply. So what you want to do is finally get to the upper level and press both of the couplings at the same time to release them, but you do one and then wait a few potatoes and then do the other one. That way you can shoot both of them at the same time while they're still being pushed back. Basically a 2-for-1.
We have 5 minutes before the fusion drives detonate. We need to evac now.
Oh, you almost had it. You gotta be quicker than that.
Stabilization of the ship's fusion core. The engines must
Thanks
have
for the
sustained more
support.
damage than we thought.
Analyzing. We have 5 minutes before the fusion drives detonate. We need to evac now. Activating final countdown timer. When it reaches 0, the engines will detonate. The explosion will generate a temperature of almost 100 million degrees. Don't be afraid. It works.
I'm getting shot a lot more than used to getting shot. That's okay, because the Warthog takes hits. There we go, we made it. Problem is, there's like not as many checkpoints. No, stop. No need for that. No need for that. Okay, still no need for that. Okay, you guys can go ahead and shoot if you want. My shield's back. Come on, get some acceleration in there, buddy. But the Warthog just wasn't accelerating there. Straight across to the left here. Straight across. Okay. Checkpoint would be nice, not gonna lie. We only have like one more room to make it through, I think. Then we'll get a checkpoint. Lots of enemies there. Lots of enemies. It's fine. Don't really care. Can I stop flipping, please? Stop. This is where Fohammer's gonna pick us up.
Wait, stop. This is where Fohammer is coming to pick us up. Move! We need to get aboard now!
Let's go. It's over. It's over. It's over. Let's go. Oh, made it.
We're cutting it close.
We made it, guys. Official.
Here we go.
First person to ever do it solo on Legendary. 4 times enemies. Saw it here. Saw it live.
Come here, you mother... Vamos!
If this doesn't prove it's on Legendary, then I don't know what does. Thanks, Dylan. Appreciate it.
This is it, baby. Hold me.
What a legendary part.